And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rock and Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rock and Sports Studios in the beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thursday night, December, that's right, December the 11th in the year of our good Lord, 2025. Yep, and I have to tell you, folks, I can't believe Christmas is here. We're 2 weeks away from Christmas. Amazingly, 2 weeks from Christmas time. So, let's see. Yeah, again, this is our probably last show before the end of the year. I want to move him in here. Dak, Donald, Times. Okay. This is our last show for the year. Now, next week I have a prior engagement, and then the following 2 Thursdays will be Christmas Day and New Year's Day, respectively. So I don't think we'll be back on the air. Forgot about him. Let's move him up in here somewhere. Yeah. I don't think we'll be back on the air before that. We might get on for New Year's Day. I think there's definitely a possibility that we get on here for that. Dak, Donald, Dimes. Yeah, so we're looking to get back on the air. Maybe if we're lucky. Just looking at something, folks. Goff, Donald, Burrow. I'll put him in there. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm a little distracted tonight. So anyway, yeah, it's our last show before the end of the year. And we usually try to get a couple shows in, but unfortunately this year, with the Thursday night being the days, Christmas Day we're out. I'll tell you flat out, we won't be doing the show Christmas Day. New Year's Day, we could be out here. So anyway, it's our last chance to wish you a Merry Christmas and enjoy yourselves out there. Please be safe and don't drink and drive. No partying, please. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, get a buddy, get a family member, but do not drink and drive. We had a lot to talk about, obviously, tonight. The winter meetings were not. I guess the Mets are on the Santa naughty list. I gotta tell you, if you're a Met fan, I don't know how you're reacting today. Listen, we'll talk a lot about that. We're gonna do our top 15 quarterbacks in the league. Let's see. How did Don Mattingly and Dale Murphy only get 6 votes? They needed 12, I believe, to get into the Hall of Fame. I'll never understand how those two guys aren't in the Hall of Fame. Now, listen, I think there's some deficiencies, but when you compare them to some of the guys who've gotten in, Harold Baines is obviously the big one for me. But there's been a few. Tim Raines, really good player. Never was the best player. He was never the best base stealer. He was second to Ricky Henderson in any category. And I like Tim Raines. Don't get me wrong. So let's see. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the NFL playoff situation. Eagles losing 3 in a row. Are the Chiefs and the dynasty done? That's a good question. Best teams in the NFC, Packers, Seahawks, and Rams. AFC right now, probably Pats. Let's see. Pats, Broncos for sure. And then who else is in that mix? We'll talk about that. Jets shit the bed, look terrible in the loss. I think you just, if I'm Aaron Glenn, keep the guys healthy. You don't want to get any major injuries, stuff that, you don't want to play a guy and have him blow out an Achilles and he's out all next year. So you're going to be very careful at this point if you're the Jets, Giants, who you play, who you don't play. I just look what happened to Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones having a great year up in Indianapolis. Was in for a while was in the MVP talk. He cooled off. He had a broken leg, playing on a broken fibula, and blows out his Achilles. He's done this year and probably next year. So you got to be careful. So if I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm really weighing who I'm playing and who I'm not playing. Philip Rivers, that's right. Philip Rivers, after 4 years and a grandpa, has returned to the NFL. We'll talk a little bit about that. And one of our favorite bands from the 80s, a band called Tramp, has returned. We'll get a little of that in there. So a lot to talk about tonight. Waiting for Jeff to pop up, waiting for my pops to pop up. I see Dad there, but he's not connecting. I don't know why. Yeah, Dad, if you hear me, turn on your mic, turn on your system there. You're not coming through. In the meantime, I hope everybody out there is hearing me. I got a couple people listening. Pops this. So yeah, if you're a Met fan out there, there's many ways to look at this. Okay, so it looks like after 5 years, Steve Cohen has said, "Hey, I've thrown money at everybody." Right? I threw money at Scherzer, Verlander. I threw money at Soto, and what's it got me? One playoff appearance, one NLCS run, right? And a bunch of 77, 80-something, I think 100 win, 80-something. It didn't work. And there's Frankie Catalano, perfect guys to talk about this with me. So I think Cohen, who's obviously a smart businessman, said, "Hey, I can't keep throwing money at this. It ain't working." And this collection of Mets, whether they like each other, I never understood the chemistry thing to a certain degree. I think if you have good chemistry, it helps. But, nobody's telling me the 77, 78 Yankees had great chemistry. There's a lot of teams that you could probably point to say they had terrible chemistry and they were great teams and won. Right. So I think Cohen finally said, "I've had enough." Now, the Nimmo thing surprised me a little bit. And while I think Simeon's a much better second baseman, I'm not sure how much better the Mets are. So I'm going to call that a wash. The Diaz thing, I can't blame. I don't know if I can blame the Mets or not. And I'm not buying into this whole Diaz. I was insulted. They didn't consult with me. Hold on a second. You opted out the minute the season was over. You took away all rights to talk about. Now, if you're Stearns and Cohen and you're bringing in Devin Williams with the intent of him being the setup man, as long as you could sign Diaz, you may want to at least reach out and say, "Hey, listen, just so you know, we're interested. We want you back, but we're going to sign Devin Williams." Okay, so that I would say you kind of got to do. And I think when it came to Pete, I don't think they wanted him back. They supposedly they didn't make him an offer. Supposedly they didn't even reach out and say, "Hey, you're in the winter meetings. Come by and say hello. Let's talk." And Pete took the first offer, and I think we all knew Pete was going to sign for about $30 million. Now, his question was the length. Am I surprised he got 5 years? No, nothing in baseball surprises me. In any sport, really, somebody is dumb enough to pay. Right now, I don't think it's dumb that did what they did. I don't think it's a terrible contract. I do think at the end of that you might get beat a little bit, but I certainly don't think that's a terrible contract. Yeah, exactly, Frank. They didn't want him last year. They brought him back because they couldn't get anybody else, and I don't think they could have kept Pete around because the fans liked him. And that's all I heard. "Oh, you got to bring Pete back. He's one of ours." If you can upgrade the position, you got to upgrade. Because why? You haven't won. You haven't done anything. You had one NLCS run. One. The team's basically been a failure. It's basically been a failure under 5 years. And Cohen came in saying he intended to win a championship in 3 to 5 years. It hasn't come close. So, I get Cohen's frustration. I'm paying out the money. Now, I wonder, the Met fans, you guys tell me, do you think the amount of money, now supposedly the Mets are losing $200 million something a year, I heard that 2 places. I don't know if that's true. So I don't want to make it about a total, but if that is true, and after paying Soto $700 million contract, I do believe the Mets have finally said, okay, we got to slow it down and maybe try to build a little bit from within, and maybe take the money like the Yankees did last year when they didn't sign Soto when he went over to the Mets, and say, we'll pay a few lesser guys, shorter term, catch lightning in a bottle, and develop the farm system. They showed they had some talent in the pit with the pitching staff. Beatty's had some success. You've had some success with with Alvarez. Not that I think Alvarez is the answer. Yeah, I get it, Jeff. Don't worry. I see you popping up. I'll grab you as soon as I see you moving around. Frank, I do think it's got to be a little bit about Soto. I'm not saying, but I think there's got to be a little fiscal responsibility now with Cohen to say, I can't keep spending $300-400 million paying all of this, and I'm not getting any results. So I do think that's a little bit about Soto, because you can't tell me that if he wasn't all in on Soto for that amount of money, that he might not have squeezed a few dollars more and tried to bring Pete back. I think Pete coming back as a DH on a 3-year deal. You tell me, if you would have called up Pete and said, I'm going to give you 3 years, $40 million, I'm going to overpay you a little bit, but it's going to be 3 years. Yeah, for $10 million, you think he might have left? I'm not so sure. I don't know. But I do think there's an issue in the clubhouse. There seems to be all sorts of people talking about how, Lindor and Soto aren't tight. Not that there's an issue. They're just there. They're not gelling. It's not there. McNeil and Lindor. So I think there's a culture issue in the clubhouse that needs to get fixed, and maybe they're just emptying it out. It just might be that simple. Yeah, maybe they're just emptying out the clubhouse. Nimmo goes, Pete goes. To not even offer Pete a contract. I'm not saying Pete's a bad guy. I'm not saying that's the problem. I'm not even stretched. Again, do they have the best minor leagues? I'm not sure. I would say that I saw some really good pitching come up at the end of the year last year. There's been some promise out of Beatty and Vientos, Maurizio, and not enough sustained. Can you build from within? But right now, you got to fill 2 outfield spots, pitching staff, bullpen. I mean, there's a lot of work. First base. There's a lot of work to do for this Met team. So, I always say this. It's the same thing. Rating in minor leagues is like Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman. For the longest time, people, Julia Roberts, beautiful woman, beautiful. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. And that's all publicity. It's all about who's got the best public relations. She's not. Okay. Do the Mets have the best minor league system? I don't know. But here's what I'll tell you. Tell me the guys that came up out of that minor league system in the last 10 years that are stars. Pete? Okay, maybe. Who else? Give me the list of guys who are stars coming up out of that thing. So that's, to me, how the true measure of it is. Now, the kid McLean, he might come up and be a star. Beatty hasn't done it yet. Maurizio really hasn't done it. Vientos started, didn't. Alvarez died out. So, Nimmo's a good player. Give me the guys who are stars. But exactly, that's just it, Frankie. So I think there's a chance the Mets are going to go a different direction. I think they would like to sign a guy like Bellinger, who's maybe, I don't know if he's going to be cheaper. I think by year he might be, maybe. He may be a longer deal, but the guy's a little younger, much more versatile. I think if you're Cohen, you throw a few bucks at Bellinger, and that might be a great guy you go out and get. But so again, there's a let me see if Jeff's see Jeff on the screen, but it doesn't seem to be working. Hefe, you there? Jeff. Oh yeah, Jeff 8. Jeff 8. Yeah, Jeff's not working. Jeff. Yo. Put him on hold again. So yeah, again, I do think that they have a plan. Now the question is going to be, what kind of field team are you going to field this year? I don't know. And I see the Lindor trade. I put this way. Lindor obviously now I think Lindor is their best player. Alonso's their best hitter. but Lindor's a fantastic shortstop and a really good hitter. You could trade him. I'm sure his contract's not obscene, right? What do you get? 10 years, $340 million. But at the end of the day, what do you get back for him? That might be the answer. It might be the old Herschel Walker trade. Trade Lindor and get four or five pieces and some minor leaguers and fill out your roster and build from there. It's not a dumb idea. I think you're sending a bad signal to I don't know, Frank, if his contract's good now. Like, I thought he was overpaid, 4 years ago, whatever it was when he got paid. I still don't think he's kind of lived up to the contract. I think he's a really good player. I stopped short of saying great. I think he has moments when he's great. I don't think he's great overall. There's parts of season that offensively he disappears. I thought his defense took a step back the last year or so. So I don't think he's a great player, but I think that's a guy who you can move to a contending team like the Blue Jays or somebody like that and get some serious pieces back. Would I do it? I don't know. What are you sending? What's the message you're sending the fan base? That's the question. So you let Nimble walk, who's a fan favorite. You let Diaz go, or I should say let Diaz. You made Diaz an offer, and he took the Dodgers for $3 million more and ran out. Why? If his feelings were hurt, screw him, let him go. I think he's probably top 3 relievers in baseball, easy, but he's also very up and down. He has very up and down years sometimes. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think Lindor's it's a good contract. So you can keep him and build your team with him. I don't think you're building it around him, but you're building it with him. But you could also trade him and maybe get yourself back a couple of, Schools out there. There's some names out there. Maybe that's one of those guys you could trade to a team and get a couple young starting pitchers back, or fill in some blanks in the infield. Yeah, I don't think that any move they made right now is a killer. I don't. Again, it comes back to they didn't win with these guys. So what's the difference? Yeah, I hear that too. I guess everybody's going to be a Dodger at some point. But so to me, at this point, if I'm Stearns and I'm Cohen, I want to build it the right way, and I'm not throwing money at Scherzers and Verlanders of the world anymore. So maybe you come up with the McLeans of the world and these young kids they got down there and bring them up, let them play, and go build the team a different way. Bring in a couple of maybe not, if you can go out and get Tucker, go get Tucker. At this point, Tucker's a flawed player, but he's the best of the bunch. Bellinger's a flawed player, but he's the second best of the bunch. So I don't have any issues with anything the Mets did so far. They made obviously a decent offer to Diaz. He bolted. They traded. They're building on defense. They traded for a really good second baseman. Albeit he's old and his offense isn't what Nimmo's was, but I don't think Nimmo's a great player either. But I think that you can understand the Pete thing. They didn't make an offer. They didn't want him back. They want to get better. They want to get more athletic, I guess. And they did. So I don't have a major problem. But as a Met fan, yeah, sure, Jeff. As a Met fan, I think what they do next is huge. Because I think if you go into the season and you didn't seriously potentially upgrade this team in some way, and you go out there and they have a bad start to the season, or it turns into a bad season, Met fans are going to scream and yell because they went through this with the Wilpons. They were promised a championship. Steve Cohen came in and said, I'm going to win a championship in 3 to 5 years. It's 5 years. Where is it? And, it ain't like they've had a ton of success. 101 win season, I think a 77, a couple of 80 win seasons. They're not killing it. So, the Phillies are a better team right now, right? There are teams that are just getting better, and the Mets aren't. And I think Met fans have a real good right to scream and yell. The one thing I'll say is, as a Met fan, be careful. I've done it in the past. Don't fall into that category of, I want Pete back because he's homegrown. That's great. But if you ain't winning, and 2 years from now, his $30-something million contract, he's hitting 28, 26, 25 homers because, he's slowing down, you aren't going to be happy. So I applaud the Mets for not going to the 5 years. Would I have given him 3 years, 120, 125? Yeah, I would have. If I would have Mets 3 years, you'll get 2 solid good years out of Pete. He played 162 games 2 years in a row. He got up to 270 this year. I thought it was a great rebound from last year, from the year before. So, but I applaud the Mets. But now, what is the plan? You can't sit on your ass. You can't throw stupid money at the wrong people. Can you build around Soto? Sure. 20-something years old, great hitter. Yeah. How? All right, you got to get some protection for him. Soto's not it. You need somebody to put him in the back of that lineup to protect him. Okay, you got to shore up the catching position. You got to get better in your rotation, and fix the infield. Can you do all of that this year? I don't know. I don't see it, but you got to get better. If you go out there this year and you win 70-something games, the fans will tear the stadium down. After you got rid of after all these guys left. And they go out and have to suffer through one of those seasons, it would not be pretty. So, let me see if Jeff. I think I see Jeff now. You there?
Am I?
There you are. I see you now. There you go.
All right. Thank God I'm on.
That's what I say, Jeff. That's what I say. Thank God you're on. So, Jeff, let's kick the show back.
Because we can stop talking about the Mets.
Well, got to talk about the Mets. It's the big story in New York right now.
I can't hear
you. You're not hearing me?
No. I can hear you now.
Okay.
It's not. Can you see me?
Yeah. You're good. So why is it not the big story in New York right now?
The big story in New York is not the Mets.
Okay. So tell me what the big story in New York is.
This weekend's matchup.
This weekend's matchup.
This weekend's matchup.
Oh,
kicking.
Yes.
Whatever it is Frank calls his team.
Yes,
the
that's
ponies,
right.
Whatever.
I got you. It is a big matchup. You need to stay. You need to keep winning to keep your playoff hopes alive. You need a little help, but you do need to beat Frank. And Frank's already clinched. So I don't know if he's going to look this play spoiler or if he's going to roll over on you and let you win. I have no idea.
He's the last thing I'm worried about.
He's the last thing you're worried about? You just told me you're worried about it.
No, I'm not. I never said I'm worried about him.
Oh, okay.
That's the big thing this week. I never said I'm worried about him.
It is a big game. That is very true. We're down to first two teams. Joe Fro and Catman are in the playoffs. And there is a 3-way fight. I believe.
I would implore the commissioner's office to explore and investigate that relationship.
It was properly vetted before the season to make sure there was no collusion. But Joe Fro, first year in the league, has jumped into the.
I think there was some back channel stuff happening.
It's very. I will speak to the co-commissioner, and we will definitely look into it. But there has been no allegation to now.
I'm making allegations under the table trades.
I will definitely look into it as the commissioner. But I would say you should worry about playing the game this week, and I would be very nice to Frank. He could possibly, alter his lineup accordingly, but there is a three-way chase right now between yourself, Iggy Mo, and Matt. So let's see. Right now, there's 2 spots open, 3 people playing for them, and I hope the best teams get in and enjoy the playoffs. Me, I'm thankful that this damn season's coming to an end because I just couldn't do anything right this year. So I have to regroup for next year and come back strong. So in the meantime,
the only way to get playoffs is if the first 137 teams in the league make it.
Oh, that's well, I could make that rule, by the way, if I so choose. So, but I am happy with the
except
rules. I will. I am happy with the rules, and the best six, the best four get in, and we'll see. Maybe there's been a little bit of backdoor chatter about expanding the playoffs to 6 teams next year, but we will see. We'll see how. There is some backdoor chatter about expanding our playoff format to 6 teams instead of the current 4. So we will we'll see. I doubt it, but we will see how that plays out. In the meantime, Jeff, we got a show to do here. We got an hour and a half left. It's Merry Christmas time. And in the meantime, Jeff, how was your week?
Long and very aggravating. But that's a story for another day. That thing I told you about yesterday?
Yep.
Not looking so good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Something changed on their end, or something changed on your end?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really? They tried to pull the rug.
More and more and more.
Yeah,
they had a couple wool blankets that I didn't see coming my way.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, I guess when they say what's that term? There's no such thing as a good deal, and I guess you found it. So, well, let's see what happens. I guess it's over. Is it over, or is you still to go? Yeah, there's no such thing as a free ride.
It's not over yet. But life support and the plug is hanging out.
All right. Well, I hope again for your sake, I hope it turns back to what you wanted and you get it. But in the meantime,
we will see.
That's all. That's all you can do. Keep plugging away. Keep fighting. Lots to talk about, Jeff. But we are in the Christmas week, and I got to ask a question. There's a few. First one: have you finished your Christmas shopping?
I haven't started Christmas shopping yet.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I haven't even started Christmas.
Are you a big? All right. So there's a couple. So, are you a big gift card guy, or are you a big present guy?
This year might be a big gift card year. That may be a very big gift card year. Who knows?
Okay.
It is easier, isn't it?
Well, I think it is. I don't do we do a lot. We do some of that for others. For my wife and myself, we kind of buy gifts. I'm not a big with her. I like to buy and have people open gifts. But my nieces and nephews and people like that, they get a lot of, here's your gift card, go buy whatever you want, type of thing. So
yeah, it's easy.
It definitely is. Okay, so to date, are you a last minute Christmas shopper? Do you go to the malls a few days before the holiday? Do you like to walk around and kind of just kind of soak in the ambiance of it all?
I would love to tell you yes. But this year, there was a couple things that happened, such as my nephew's wedding.
Right.
So that postponed some of the things that we would have done in November to December.
Gotcha.
And then last week, we had to go to my mother's house for a while to see her for her birthday. So that would have meant that we would have been in the mall shopping for Christmas presents. That didn't work out. And, shit happens. What can I tell you? And so now we're behind.
Yep.
And then mortgage payment and all this other shit. So it is what it is. We're doing the best we can. We're doing what we can, and we'll just see how it works from there. Some people may not even get a gift card. Maybe they just get money. I don't know.
That's it. That works too. It's all usable in the store. So okay. Now the next question: have you watched any Christmas themed shows or movies? And if you have, which ones have you watched?
I haven't watched anything because it seems as though Apple TV has been changed off of the back porch television, so I can't watch the Charlie Brown stuff. There was one show that I kind of watched at where was it? I forget where it was. Mm-hmm. But it was a knockoff Christmas show. I don't even know.
Oh, really?
Name of it was pretty rough, man.
Okay.
Jack Frost, I think it was.
There's a bunch of those. I found a couple like there was a Rudolph Shiny New Year, a Rudolph something else New Year. There was a couple I didn't know. One I didn't know about. I didn't like either one of them. I've DVR'd a few. I've watched a few. I have had the opportunity. I watched, I think I said last week, Christmas Vacation, Miracle on 34th Street. Starting this weekend, I'll have a lot more time, and I will definitely spend a little time watching some more. I just DVR'd Rudolph was on a few weeks ago, and I DVR'd Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So
okay,
yeah. So I'll be watching a few of those.
DVR.
Huh?
I already have those on DVR.
Yes, yeah, I had them, but usually I DVR tons of stuff, and then I look up and I got 90%. And I got to cut a few things that I haven't seen that I'm not going to watch, and those usually get cut, and I bring back I bring them back in when they come back out again.
I won't cut the Christmas ones only because I don't know. Like I have, say, Mr. Magoo, which I better still have. I hope.
Oh,
and actually, I got that on my phone. I got that on my phone.
Oh, really? Mr. Magoo. We talked about that last week. That is the class. That is classic of all classics.
What, Mr. Magoo?
Oh, come on. That is absolutely the best.
You know what I think you should do one year over this year, if possible. I don't know what you feel. I think you should play a Christmas show on the show.
Wow. I don't know if I can. So the problem is I want to play Christmas music. And the minute you do, they take you off the air. Like, it's not even like later. Like, now Facebook, within like 6 weeks, they erase everything. Now, luckily for us, I save every one of our shows is saved to YouTube. So we want to go back in time and see one of these shows, it's there. But Facebook gets rid of them. And if you play stuff that's copyrighted or trademarked or whatever, they even if it's like, I've played music that was on like you ever go to like the Blabbermouth or one of those places and they say, hey, watch Ace Frehley's new song or so-and-so's new song, and you click on it and it's right there. So
yeah,
you do that. Like, so I've done that and played them on the show, and then they'll threaten to take it off or they'll remove it. And they'll say, what's your response to this? And I'll say, hey, listen, this was on a free site. I clicked on it and all of that. And sometimes they put the show back, and sometimes they don't. So,
really?
But we've also in the past been taken off the air in the middle of a show because we played something that was copyright infringed, they said. So
I did not know that.
Yes, so I very rarely play anything with any sort of volume outside onto our show. Now I'll play some movies or something that shows up. But very rarely do I put anything with any sort of volume on it because it seems to get caught much easier. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I'm very careful on what we play, so we don't get taken off in the middle of a show. Yeah. If it gets canceled out afterwards, I don't really care less because, like I said, it's saved into YouTube. There's a whole ton of these shows there. Eventually, I have to grab all those shows, and I think I'm going to hire somebody to kind of do like a big reel of shows and kind of pick out things. But that's probably when I retire. But we'll take it from there. Yeah. Greg, is that for me by any chance? Because I think you're on crack if that's for me. If that statement's for me. So, but we're also a week away from it's Christmas time, which we're a week away from the big Christmas jam, which I am very excited for.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
But I also can't wait for it to be over. And I'll tell you why. Because I find myself very anxious every year when we go to play that I get so anxious about the music and relearning the songs and learning new ones. And, I spend so much time during the holiday getting ready. Like for the last 3 months, I've been playing nonstop. And now even more lately. And, I'll do that right up to next Saturday night. And then we'll play on Sunday. And then I won't touch the guitar for a month because I've had enough. Like, just take a break and there's nothing else to play for. And I can put it down and put it aside. So while I look forward to it every year, I almost wish I could just come and sit in the corner and hang out and not even play.
Wow. And that's a shame because, I play for my own reasons.
Yes.
You know, which I guess are different than yours. I still like to play. I still get enjoyment out of it. And while I've been going over the songs that I hope to play,
Yep.
or intend on playing, you know, we'll see what everybody else's situation is. I knew some of them, but I've been going over them. But I look forward to it. To me, it's important. I'm glad that everybody is going to be there this year. So,
Frank, if you want to get barred from the show, that's a good way to do it. I'm just saying. If you want to get barred from the show, that might be the best way to do it. Anyway, but I always look forward to getting together with the guys and playing some tunes and just having a few laughs and doing our thing. So we'll see. Why
does Frank care for this person Sandy so much? I don't understand. and just so you know, if it means anything to you. Yep. You are the second person that I'm friends with that has a person named Sandy in his life that they don't all see eye to eye.
Well, it's listen.
It has something to do with the name. I don't know.
I don't know. I blame myself. That's all I can say. It's all my fault. I'm the bad guy, and it is what it is. But yeah, so it's Christmas, and the weather's cold. We're officially in the Christmas season.
Very heartfelt, man.
Yeah, it's heartfelt. Believe me, yeah, heartfelt. Yeah, heartfelt. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
But yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so but yeah, so I'm looking forward to the holiday season. I mean, we've been in it. It's craziness, but I intend to this weekend to catch up on some of the old movies, enjoy some quiet time. Luckily, I think I'm going to be off for a good part of the holiday this year from the 22nd through January 5th. So I'm thankful to the company for shutting down. So so I'm looking forward. So I'm happy for that end, and looking forward to seeing everybody and getting together, and hopefully maybe during that time period spend a little more time with guys like yourself and some of the other people in my life, and slowing it down a little bit. But in the meantime, Frank Catalano is about to get blocked from the show, but I love Frank. Anyway,
and I mean, here I am thinking that he's playing by the rules, and evidently he's not.
No, he's not playing by the rules, Frankie, but that's all right. Oh. Let's see what else is on my list today. Jeff, I got some NFL stuff. I did a lot of Mets stuff. I don't know if you want. Do you want to comment anything about the Mets? Do you want to throw anything in about the?
Yes.
So go ahead, do that before we move on to football.
Okay. Who cares?
Okay, that's your
baseball is over. We're in the height of a playoff race. And here we are talking about the Mets that did nothing for their fans. Nothing.
That's very true. I can't argue that point. I noticed that our Madden League is on a standstill right now, waiting for Frank to get off the disabled list. So
he's on the fucking mentally disabled list. This fucking guy, he really is.
He's nuts. He's great. But again, I once your room warms up a little bit, I've been itching to play a little bit and have some competition. So
I'll tell you what. You tell me how late you could sleep, stay up tonight, and as soon as I get off of here, I will put the heat on and go out there. I play in a cold weather city. I'll be out there.
I have to tell you, I have a lot.
I don't need a dome.
I'm going to open the door up and let the animals too.
No, slow down, son. But if you want to play, it wasn't too bad out there now. But
no, it wasn't too bad. Okay, yeah, no. It's we'll see. Yeah, let me see it when I get off the air. Well, I'll let you know. Let me see. I was going to practice a little tonight because I have a little bit of plans tomorrow after work and Saturday night. So I wanted to get a little practice time tonight and Sunday. So I'll let you know. Let me see. Maybe we'll play a quick game and then I'll jump on and see how tired I am. But I do want to bring up a lot of football stuff. First one, talk to me about Phillip Rivers.
Wow, man, I don't know what to think. I blame a lot of this on Tom Brady and the fact that Tom Brady played well into his 40s, that people think that they can rehash these people. and get them in the game again. I saw something that you wrote to Frank Jeffrey, matter of fact, which was the guy is not in football shape and hasn't played in a number of years. Now I want to elaborate on this because you're 100% right. I didn't even think that far. Okay, how many of these people end up playing in the Super Bowl come the middle of February, and then they're off March, April, May, June? They do some OTAs or something like that.
Yep.
Then you're off all July, and then they go back in August, and they say they're not in playing shape. They got to get into playing shape. Okay, they got to get into playing shape. That takes weeks, and these guys are in their 20s. Here's a guy 40-something years old, and when I said to Frank, which by the way, his response was just totally stupid, which I understand about the kids. If Phillip Rivers does have 14 kids, they didn't get there by accident.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, he fucking wants them.
Yeah,
he's a maniac, but that's besides the point. He'll want to be home with them, you know. But at that age, you know, you get hit, you stub your toe, that's it. You could be, God knows what happens. You want to get hit by a 300-pound fucking defensive lineman on the blind side, you know? Do you want to get crunched and feel that? I don't think anybody I know of wants to, man. That's
you know, I agree with you, but I can even see overlooking that. What can't be overlooked is that just what you said. Here's a 44-year-old guy who hasn't laced it up, who, by the way, wasn't breaking records when he quit 4 years ago, right? When he retired, he wasn't breaking records at that point, who had a great career, but not who. Think about, I mean, you said it perfectly. How many times do you take 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever, off of what you do, and then you got to come back to it, and it seems much faster? Now, think about doing that at 44 years old, having not played in the league for 4 years, and now
he stopped in 2020, didn't he?
Yeah. Again, he's 4 years since he's played, so that's 2021, something like that, maybe 2022. But you know, if you took a year off in your 30s, you would take your time to adjust. You would need all of training camp. You would need look what happened to Aaron Rodgers last year, right? He took off, didn't play, and the first 2 weeks when he came back, he missed a whole year. You know, with the Jets, you know, all of that. You don't walk back in and nail it. And this ain't 20-something years old. This guy's 44, missing 4 years. The game is going to be flying by him. To me, this is a publicity stunt. That's all this is.
I wouldn't say it's a publicity stunt. I wouldn't agree that it's a publicity stunt, but very close to a publicity stunt. They have to give their fan base some hope because there was talk of them being a Super Bowl contender just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones gets hurt, 2 different leg injuries.
Yeah, broke his fibula, one leg, and then,
Which, by the way, I don't understand how he was even going out there playing with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there he was, so I got to give him his toughness without a doubt. And part of me feels bad for him, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But
now he misses all of next year now.
Most of it, yeah. But this guy, who's out there that you're going to sign? Because if that was the case, they would have signed him. You know, anybody would have been signed by now. Because you think of this, you got Kyler Murray sitting on a bench. You have other guys. You know, that's just one. You got Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields flip-flopping, going back and forth, sitting on the bench. You got Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston sitting on the bench. And these people are all backups at this point in time. There is no starting caliber quarterback that they could just go out and get.
No.
And continue business as usual.
Nope.
For a team like the Colts, there is none, man. There is none. It's over.
No, that's why I mentioned to you this week about trying to come up with the top 15 guys, because it's difficult enough to find 15 great or really good starting quarterbacks in this league. And now you start digging, and Frankie, you're right. They wanted Ellinger, and he told them no. And, you know, there's a guy who has a chance, instead of backing up Bo Nix, to starting on a team that has a chance to make the playoffs, and he didn't want to do it. So to me, you know, I don't know why he said no, but if I'm a quarterback in this league, and I think I can play, that's the perfect opportunity to jump in and say, trade. I'm going to go there and play. I can start, show what I'm worth, and get the big contract next year. So I'm curious. I have no idea why he said no. There could be 100 reasons. Maybe he's got a kid. Maybe he didn't want to leave his family. You know, there's a great quarterback coach head coach over there, Steichen. That's a good team. He's done wonders with Daniel Jones. I would think if you have any ambition to be a starting quarterback in this league, you would run there and try. But he said no. But having said that, there has to be somebody who's at least taken a snap in the NFL in the last 2 years, who's 20-something years old, who you're better off bringing in. Now, I think they're going to start Riley Leonard, this kid they got as a backup. But boy, oh boy, I almost shudder to think what it would look like if Phillip Rivers has to get in the game.
It's going to be rough, man. It's going to be rough. And I'll tell you somebody else, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Is another one that is added to this insanity that, let this guy play. And, these older guys could still play. They could still, just because Aaron Rodgers is another one. Just because some of these guys are playing at a high level, that does not mean that every 40-something-year-old guy is going to be able to play.
Yeah, again, you look at these guys. Brady is an anomaly. I mean, but again, Brady didn't stop playing and come back 5 years later. I'm sure if Tom Brady retired at 40, 41, and then came back at 44, 45, he wouldn't have been the same Tom Brady. That guy worked. Think about it, year round, ate, avocado ice cream, did all this crazy stuff to stay in shape at 40-something years old, and it paid off. He was great. I'm guarantee you, I saw what Phillip Rivers looked like. He ain't eating avocado ice cream. So,
Frank Catalano, give me 3 guys that are better than Rivers right now, please, by name.
That aren't playing already on a team.
Any guys better choice than Rivers? Well, who? If you're the general manager of the Colts, tell me the 3 guys you're going after now.
That's available. That's the difference. Like, to me, it's you can't make trades right now. So you're done.
I can name 3 guys better than Rivers too, but who you can't sign them.
That's the problem. That's the bigger problem. You're absolutely right. 3 now again. That's a sad state for the NFL. Think about that. To say that you had to bring a guy back after all this time because there isn't another guy available to sign. Now again, it's tough. It's the end of the season. Teams are carrying 2 or 3 guys, but that is a tough spot for that team. And I feel for Phillip Rivers. I don't know if this was his idea or if they said, "Hey, the offense, we want you to come back. I want to get my dad on. Dad, hang in there 2 more minutes." I don't know whose idea it was.
I'm waiting for Frank Catalano. Ritter is the only one that he's throwing up there.
Yeah, I would tell you, I'm going to watch the Colts game somehow this weekend because I'm just curious to see. He takes that first snap and he drops back to throw. It's going to take him a half hour to drop back 5 steps. I mean, I can't imagine. Now I know he knows the offense. He actually uses their offense to coach his son's high school team, so he knows the in and outs. So great, but boy, oh boy, to think that they dragged him back out there. Oof, that's a tough one.
Taylor, quarterbacks, Frank Catalano.
But I would say this: they've at least played in the league in the last couple of years. I'm not saying they're better than Phillip Rivers.
I understand. Well, I understand what you're saying. You're right. They've played in the league the last couple of years. You know what? You could say basically the same thing about Phillip Rivers. You're stretching it that he's played in the league in the last 5 years, but he has played in the league.
They're also 20-something, 30 years old. He's 44. So I get your point.
Well, I agree. I'm just saying
you're not winning a Super Bowl with those guys. I agree.
Yeah, you're not all of a sudden giving us somebody that's
no.
These are guys that ain't playing with anybody for a reason.
No, I agree with you, and that is a valid point. I just say I think at the very least the game isn't too fast for them. They might not be talented enough, and in Phillip Rivers' head, he knows exactly what he should do and where he should do it and how he should do it. The question is, he's just not. It's not going to come fast enough against these young kids to make it happen. Now, if it happens, if he goes out there and actually has to play and plays well, hey, you're going to start seeing some of these old chubby guys lining up to play again. I don't know, but
Tom, I think it takes a special kind of moron to strap on a helmet and pads at 40-something years old.
Yeah,
especially in the mid-40s, and think you're going to go out there and make it out alive. You're not going to be able to just stand in the shower and wash the pain away now at this point in time.
No, I agree, and I think to your point, it's a good valid point. While it seems laughable, while it seems stupid, if you put it on paper and you say to yourself, well, what are my options? Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, Phillip Rivers. I'll take my chances with the guy who's going to the Hall of Fame in a few years, over guys that have no idea what to do. So I get your point, and it's valid. I mean, where do you turn at this point in the season? Where do you turn? Also, here Frank's giving me the whole list: Nate Sudfeld, Taylor Heineke, Clayton Tune, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Tim Boyle, Bryce Perkins, Logan Woodside, and Desmond Ridder. That could easily be the starting offense in the Staten Island Touch Tackle League.
First of all, let's Nate Sudfeld, I heard of him. Taylor Heineke, Clayton Tune.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of Dorian Thompson.
I've heard of, yeah. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I've heard of him. He's played.
Tim Boyle, really? Yep. Tim Boyle, Bryce Perkins. Who's that kid by the Jet? Christian Hackenberg. You forgot him on the list. Chad Pennington.
Yeah. Again, I get both points. So to me, to be honest with you, I would have went the way Frankie's talking about.
I'm not sticking up for Phillip Rivers, please.
Yeah. I would have went that way too, because at least they've played and they're younger, and to bring Phillip Rivers back. This isn't Joe Flacco sitting on the missing training camp last year and coming in and playing after that, and he played really well for the Browns for a while. This is a little different.
How many playoff games does that group of men have under their belts?
Oh man, as a starter, probably none.
Yeah. All right. Well, then there you go.
No, and again, your point is valid, and I don't argue it. And I just think that
they're on the practice squad right now, Frank. While I understand you're giving us players that are playing in the league or still young, under the age of 44, which most of the people are. Okay, you're just not getting anybody that's going to get the job done. The only thing I can say about Rivers is he has experience. He's played in the playoffs. How many? He has more playoff experience than that whole batch combined, bro.
Yeah, I don't think that's the argument. I think the argument is here's the simple way. What gives you a better chance to win? 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played in 4 years, or any one of those guys on that list. So that's the question. Now, I've seen Tim Boyle win games. I've seen Dorian Thompson win a couple of games. So I don't see any. I don't think you're going to gain anything.
Okay, he'd be a starter in this league right now. With some teams that need the quarterback help that they need, he'd be a starter right now. The New York Jets. Dude, come on. If he was that good and he was that capable,
those guys, yeah. I'm not.
He would be in the NFL right now.
I agree. My only issue is I don't think that I don't believe Phillip Rivers, if he had to play this week or next week, would stand any chance of being successful. I just don't see it. Now, he may be able to game manage. He may be able to hand the ball off, throw a couple of quick passes, get you through a football game, maybe score a couple points. I don't doubt that for a second. But, is he capable of taking them on a run? I don't believe it. Neither of those guys, though. So I think the only answer for me would be, Jeff, he knows the offense. You hope he doesn't have to play. And if he does, you hope you can manage it around him and keep him healthy and not make him look like a buffoon and really kill your team. So that's the best I can say.
Making him look like a buffoon, I'd be more worried that he's going to get killed.
Well, that's the second problem. Now, luckily for him, he's got a great running game. He's got a great offensive line. He's got some decent receivers to throw to. So there's some weapons there, and maybe give it a chance. Now, hopefully, maybe this kid Riley Leonard wins a couple of games.
I got to do something with the door.
Keeps him close, and then maybe Rivers in a couple of weeks is more football shape. I don't know, but let me get my Pops on. I want to get him in before we lose him again. Hey, Pop.
Hi, Tommy. You hear me?
Yep, I got you, Pop. I got you.
Yeah, I had problems with the Kentucky. I could hear you, like normal.
Yeah, I
Whatever that
couldn't.
means.
I saw you, but you were frozen, so I figured
Yeah.
you straightened it out. So,
Well, you're
but
frozen on me.
What's
You're
up, Mr.
frozen on me now.
oh, okay, yeah, no,
Yeah, but I hear you. I
Okay.
think, to be honest with you,
yeah,
I don't know much about it, but you got kids coming out of college and going right into the pros,
yep,
playing.
yep.
And I think that's the biggest mistake in the world. It's like taking a kid out of double A and bringing him right up, single A ball,
Yep.
playing baseball. Very hard.
No, agreed. Again, the NFL nowadays wants these kids to play as early as they can because you only have them for a short window because most of them don't get a second contract. And a lot of guys, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, there's a lot of guys that you could point to say, had they maybe sat for a couple of years and built into it, kind of like what this kid Jordan Love's done up in Green Bay. He sat for 3 or 4 years behind Aaron Rodgers, struggled a little bit for a year or two, and now he's playing some great football. So there's something to be said to say, take a step back, give these kids a chance to acclimate themselves, and not throw them in the deep end of the pool.
I have to agree with you. But
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem. Excuse me.
Yeah, the problem with it is you're paying these kids on these 4-year, 5-year deals that you can't. So before they get their second-year deal and they get that big raise, the NFL wants them playing well. And the bottom line is, if the kid plays a year or two and he's not very good, they throw him away and they bring in the next one. So, when you come out of college, you better be ready to play pretty quick in the NFL. Otherwise, you will be on your second and third team by your 4th year.
I think Rivers got a good shot because he's going to play the football that he has to play. Short passage, running game, handing off, calling plays, changing. I think he's going to play a good for them. I really do.
Well, Jeff, you agree with my dad on that one, Jeff?
It's Tom. It's hard to say. I mean, maybe he can manage a short game. Maybe. I don't want to see. I don't think that I think that he's too old. I mean, maybe if he didn't play last year and it was 1 year that he didn't play, you could say, all right, it was 1 year, he was off for 1 year. Maybe it did his body good. But 4 or 5 years now, that's a long time.
Well, I think that's the key. I don't. His age doesn't bother me. I mean, I've seen Flacco's 40-something. He's played pretty well, not great, but enough to lead teams to victory. Rodgers, while he's not Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago, hasn't played terribly. He's got his team winning games and they're headed to the playoffs. Hopefully, we saw Brady. There are guys who are doing it at that age. The problem, like you just said, is it's the layoff. It's the age with a 4-year layoff.
Hey, everything you're saying is valid, except they've all been playing on and off. Especially Flacco. For Joe Flacco, I mean, Christ almighty. He went out and everybody lost their minds because he had 2 or 3 good games in a row.
Yeah. And you know what? If this was last summer and they said, okay, he's coming in February and he's going to work out all year, and get acclimated and they play, and we're going to start the season with him, I would say, all right, I don't think it's going to be successful, but he's got a chance. You got all off season, get yourself in some shape, get a couple football hits. I get it. But to do it week 15 of the NFL season after not playing for 4 years, coaching high school football, I have a real hard time believing that he's going to do anything worthwhile, and he's probably the emergency backup. That's the way I look at it.
Except they
I'm
don't
going to
have.
let you guys go.
All right, Pops.
Nice talking to you, Jeff. Tommy, I'll see you over the weekend.
I'll see you over the weekend, Dads. Thank you. That's my Pops. He checks in every week. Love having him on. He had a little bit of trouble getting on, but we're always glad to have him.
He's so funny.
Yes.
He's so funny because, from all the years that I remember,
Uh-huh.
You could see he's getting older now.
Uh-huh.
And, there's nothing better than watching old people deal with computers. Man.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no. You understand how many times a month I get I hate to bother you. On your way home, could you stop by? My printer's not working. And you go, all right, Dad, no problem. I'll stop by and I'll take a look at it. And you go there and he tried to print and it didn't work. So instead of like stopping and clearing it like you would try to do, he'll try to print like 73 times. So when you go in to fix the computer, you got to clear 73 different tries at it. Or,
Yeah.
or if it goes through and you didn't pay attention, now it's printed out 73 different versions of the same thing.
Yeah.
And you go, Pops, in the future. Don't, I know, but why
do I know?
Yeah, exactly.
And between the paper you're going to waste and the ink that's gone. And now we got to address what Frank Catalano said about Adrian.
Frankie,
I have to say, Frank, you haven't given us one valid name that could take the Colts to the next level if need be. These are all, they're just the future wash-up and has-beens. They're just, there's nobody. There's nobody out there. There's nobody out there. Maybe you could pray like the Cardinals release fucking Kyler Murray or something, or the Giants release Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson by some chance. And at least there's somebody that may be the next level of suckdom.
Hey, I got to bring up Jameis Winston. I'm glad you did. It's not on my sheet, but I will tell you that Jameis Winston has done one of the best personality, I don't know what you want to call culture changes that I've ever seen, short of Alex Rodriguez. I mean, Jameis Winston coming out of college was an ass. He got caught stealing crab legs. He was just a complete jerk off coming out of college. His first couple years in the pros.
Hold on one second, Frank. Nobody's doubting whether they're better. They all suck. That's it. They all suck. If they were good, they would be in the NFL, and if they were very good, they would be leading a team right now in the NFL. These guys are not going to be long-term answers. They're not even short-term answers. They're, your quarterback hit his head on the turf and he's in concussion protocol for the rest of the game kind of players. These are not long-term answers. So, you could keep naming them, but it's not what the Colts need. There are no long-term answers out there.
No, definitely not.
I'm not saying that Rivers is. We totally agree with you. But the guys that you're naming are just.
I think it comes down to it's a simple math question.
Rivers, that's all.
Yeah, it's a simple math question. I think that Rivers, if I had had him for 6 more weeks or 8 weeks before this, I might have said, you know what, maybe it's a better answer. He gets himself in some sort of shape. Maybe he composes himself as a. But
he's still talking about a 44-year-old man.
Correct. I agree.
Me, you, and I'm assuming.
If you're asking me, I would have taken anybody on Frankie's list that he put out there that's played in this league in the last 2 or 3 years. That's 25, 29, 32, and put him out there before I put Phillip Rivers. But
you're 100% right. But none of those guys,
of course not,
are long-term answers.
No, but that's not. But that's not the
playoff success.
But that's not really the question here. The question is not.
The question is that is the question, Tom.
No, it's really not.
The team that's on the cusp of possibly getting a playoff spot, and they have no quarterback.
All right, but so then saying that you're agreeing that Rivers isn't the answer and those guys, so you're the GM of the Colts and you have that list of guys and Phillip Rivers, who are you picking to go to start for your team or play on your team, hopefully not start?
One you said earlier yourself, the reason that Phillip Rivers is there is because of his familiarity with the system. And Brock Osweiler played a few games here and there when Peyton Manning rested. He didn't win with the Broncos, bro. Peyton Manning won that Super Bowl.
Again, Brock, look how bad Peyton looked at that time. He was 40, 41 at that point, and he could barely throw 10 yards.
Osweiler anyway. He ended up signing with somebody, and then he ended up getting traded off and was used to fill up salary cap room.
I'm not mistaken. He got traded to the team. He signed with the Texans.
Yeah, and then he got
traded up the salary by sending him, I think, to the Browns, and they immediately cut him to eat a salary.
Yeah.
Yes. So
they fill up salary cap room.
Now, let's not forget, Brock Osweiler stepped in for Peyton Manning and played a bunch of games when Peyton got hurt, and then got them to the playoffs. Then he wasn't playing well enough, and they went back to Peyton to win the Super Bowl, who was a shell of himself. Huh?
And nobody saw that coming?
Yeah, no. You
have Peyton Manning sitting on the bench. You were lucky enough to be able to get somebody to play 7 games or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you're not putting Peyton Manning back in like Brock Osweiler.
Well, again, he really was terrible, Peyton Manning. I'm not saying Brock Osweiler was great, but he did win a bunch of games.
He was in bad shape. He was older. He was washed up.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Was next year, I believe, too, right?
That was He retired after he won the Super Bowl. And listen, they did a great job. They got to the Super Bowl. They managed him. He managed the games. They won running the football, playing great defense. So that I think Brock Osweiler was capable because he got them there. He won a playoff game. He did okay. Would I put him in my top 100 quarterbacks I've ever seen? No, absolutely not. If I was picking, I would take a guy who is younger and has played in the league recently over Phillip Rivers. But I understand the theory of bringing in a guy who knows the system and in a spot could make a play or two. I just don't think he's going to. I don't think his legs.
See what he just wrote now, Frank Catalano?
Yeah.
My point is those kind of quarterbacks can be serviceable on good teams. Then how come they're not on a good team right now? Why are they not on a good team right now as we speak? Why are these guys available to be signed to teams like the Colts that need a quarterback? Because they're not good quarterbacks.
Well, I think the bigger thing is it's hard to bring in those guys at this point in the season, put them out there with little to no knowledge of the offense, and expect them to play really well when they're not really well anyway. If they're on the squad all year and they know the offense, those guys can go in there and fool you for a couple of games. They absolutely can.
Understandable, and you're 100% right. Yeah. But you want to know something? If they were good and they were worth their effort, they would have been on a team.
I agree.
Known the team's system.
I agree with you.
So these guys that evidently are not on a team right now, okay, and if every team in the NFL has 3 quarterbacks, that means there's 96 quarterbacks playing in the NFL. So that would mean to me that everyone that you listed would be 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, and so far down the list.
Yeah.
No, I'm not wrong, Frank, because they're not in the NFL. They're not in the NFL.
Again, if those guys were on the roster and you went and got Phillip Rivers, I'd say you're nuts. If they're not on the roster, then I got to say I don't know if they're going to be capable of not playing at all, coming in, learning it, and then getting on the field and being successful. I think it'd be a stretch. Now, where's Gardner Minshew? There's a guy who's been bouncing around for years.
Isn't Gardner Minshew a backup for somebody?
Yeah, he is. The Andy Daltons of the world who are perennial backups now. Those guys just aren't available. I don't think they're on a practice squad anyway where you can grab them. And if you're looking to grab,
not available to be signed by the Colts.
Yeah, if you're looking for an Ellinger at this point, that's probably you're already scraping the bottom of the barrel. So again, here's the bottom line. There's no right or wrong answer here. Those guys aren't playing, and Jeff's right because they are not good and they're not playing because of it. Frankie's right in the sense that I would rather go to one of those guys who at least are younger and have thrown a football the last couple of years as opposed to Phillip Rivers. But Phillip Rivers has a wealth of knowledge, knows the offense in and out, and who knows? Maybe he gets one good game left in his arm and he goes out there. So here's the bottom line. Nobody knows how it's going to play out. There is no right or wrong because this is the worst possible situation for the Colts to be in. That's the bottom line.
Well, you know what? It's almost the worst possible situation because their third stringer could end up getting injured.
Yeah.
And get hurt.
Yeah, listen, I would not put Phillip Rivers out there in the sense of that. But again, to Jeff's point, who is there? If I had to say, Frank, one guy on the list, include Phillip Rivers in that list, and you said, I got to go win one football game to get into the playoffs, you have to be hard-pressed to go, I might give Rivers a chance because I don't think any of those other guys are going to win a big game. So I understand Jeff's point 100%.
I agree with you that you say about, I just don't believe it's a publicity stunt. You know what I think it is? I think it's to say, the guy has played with the Colts before, so he has a tie to the Colts. He has a tie to the coach. He knows the system.
Yep.
So you're giving the fans something to hold on to, something to believe in. They hope that this third stringer, Leonard, I think his name is, right?
Riley Leonard is the starter this week. Yeah.
They're hoping that maybe he's okay. He could go the rest of the year. Maybe Richardson comes back, but the Colts they're in a bad situation for a playoff team. they're in a bad situation.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. When you listen, guys, we're sitting here on the radio and we're arguing whether 44-year-old Phil Rivers or Taylor Heineke or Dorian Thompson-Robinson should be playing quarterback to get you to the playoffs. Your season's almost over. It's really just almost over.
Don't get me wrong, Frank. I'm not sticking up for Phillip Rivers. I'm not saying that Phillip Rivers is the answer. Please don't think that at all. I right now, I'm happy to be a Jet fan with this guy coming in. What is it? Cook, I think his name is, right? Brady Cook.
Brady Cook, yes.
Yeah, and have him starting. The Jets have a better quarterback situation than the Colts right now.
Yeah. So
and that took only 15, 16 weeks to say. So it's a rough situation, and it's a shame because the Colts at one point in time looked like they were going to steamroll everybody.
Yeah, listen, there wasn't too long ago that it was a compelling conversation that either Taylor or Daniel Jones could be the MVP in the league. Now, he got hurt. They've cooled a little bit, but at the end of the day, it wasn't too far ago that people were touting them as having the best team in the AFC. Now, they've cooled. The Broncos, the Patriots, even the Jags have jumped up there. So there's a chance the Colts don't even make the playoffs at this point. They're on the bubble. They're number 8 out of 7. So, there's no guarantee at this point. The Colts, who at one point were, number 1, number 2, are right now not even in the playoffs.
Speaking of the Broncos and the Patriots, these are two teams, relatively young teams that are upstarts coming in. They've won a lot of games in a row, and then we got Frank here, so we can ask him: aren't you nervous at this point in time that this team has been hot? Especially the Broncos, your team has been hot basically the whole season. With the season wrapping up, if they lose a game at the wrong time, that's it; they're out. So if the Broncos happen to win, say 2 or 3 more games, and then lose 2 out of 3, that's it; they're done. They're home. And you get to say you went to the playoffs, but kind of makes the season like for nothing.
Yeah, no? I gotta tell you, listen, you go out and win every game. There is the old theory of, well, you got to lose a game before the playoffs. You got to lose a game because nobody's going to win 10 in a row. Now they've already won. God, I think the Patriots have won 10 or 11 in a row now. I think it's 10 in a row.
10 in a row or 11 in a row?
Well, they're 11-2. They were 1-2. The Patriots. They're 11-2 now, so they won 10 straight.
What about the Broncos? I think
almost the same thing. The Broncos are 11-2. I think they've won like 8 or 9 straight.
No, they won more than that, bro.
Hold on a second.
They won at least 10 in a row.
All right, you might be right. I'm going to look it up right now for you. Maybe Frankie knows. Hold on. 10 in a row. You're absolutely right. 10 straight for the Broncos. 10 straight for the Patriots. Listen, I think it's a fun matchup. I think anything could change between now and then, but that would be a really fun game. I think the guy who's favored is whoever gets the home game. If Patriots get the home game, they have a little bit better quarterback play. I think the Broncos defense is just a little bit better. Coaching, it's dead even as far as I'm concerned. Those are 2 veteran coaches. That's good football. Behind them, Steelers, Jaguars, Chargers at number 5, Bills at 6. Gotta love the way Josh Allen played this weekend. Holy cow. There's a guy who just put his team on his back and just said, I'm going to win this damn thing.
Josh Allen?
Yeah, he's by far, he's the best quarterback in football right now. By far. I know Mahomes won all those games and Super Bowls and Josh Allen hasn't, but right this minute, I'll take Josh Allen over anybody in football. I'll take over Josh. That guy can just say, I'm going to win this game. And he took off, and he ain't the fastest guy in the whole world, and took off and just ran through everybody for 40 yards and a touchdown and put him on his back and won that game. I watched that whole game. He was amazing.
That guy is so strong, man. He's
oh my God.
Off 245 or something like that.
Oh my God. I
don't think you realize how big this guy is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's a beast. He makes every throw. We talk about, and I made a list of my top 15 quarterbacks in the league, and he's at the head of it.
I'm curious to hear, by the way, because I had trouble coming up with 15, and I have one on the list that that when I tell you who I got on the list, I didn't put them 1 through 15.
I did for my
Oh,
own.
I didn't. But so when we do it, I'll have to pay attention. But
Yep.
I just went through the league and
Yep.
and saw who was there and did 1 through 15 and just got 15 quarterbacks.
All right.
I have one on the list that you're going to be like, "Are you serious? You're fucking with me." But I'm like, no, I thought about it and I had to put him on there, man.
All right. Well, we'll get to it in a minute. I just want to finish up on the playoff schedule. So right now, there are a bunch of teams so eliminated at this point. AFC is the Jets, the Browns, the Raiders, the Titans. Over in the NFC, it's the Falcons, Cardinals, Saints, Commanders, and Giants. Not a lot of surprises. Maybe the Redskins. A lot of people thought coming off last year, they went to the NFC Championship game and lost to the Eagles, that they would come back this year. Hasn't happened so far. They're 3-10. So no major surprises. But in the AFC, the Bills, I think most people, including myself, thought they would win the division, and the Patriots had a chance to jump up there. The fact that the Patriots have played so well is kind of crazy to me. Jaguars have rebounded 9-4, have taken over that division. I mean, that Bills, Texans, the Colts, Ravens are at 6-7, Chiefs at 6-7, ding dong, the witch is dead, and the Dolphins at 6-7.
And I got to disagree with you there, Tom. Until the Chiefs are eliminated, until they have the E in front of their name in the standing, you can't discount them, because once they make the playoffs, it's a different time of year. So if they make the playoffs, you can't say they're going to be an easy out, man. They are the Chiefs.
No, I never said they were an easy out. I just don't.
They're the same team.
But I watched Sunday's game, and they look like an old, out of it football team. That's just what they look like.
Exactly what they are. They are an out of it football team.
Yeah. Again, if they make here's the thing: if they were to make the playoffs, you wouldn't count them out, because that coach and quarterback find a way to win games. The problem is, I
don't think they ever rebounded from the Super Bowl loss.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And most teams don't. A lot of teams, when you win the Super Bowl, don't come back. And the Eagles are facing that a little bit right now. They lost 3 straight. They don't look good. There's a lot of infighting. It would not shock me if they get bounced to the playoffs early this year. The Chiefs, the team that loses, usually goes into a funk. And to be honest with you, I would not doubt that this team's going to have to retool. They need a lot of help.
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Let's say they retool, right? Get a couple new pieces in there. Are you afraid of the Chiefs next year?
Sure, of course. They got a quarterback and they got a coach. So that's a big piece of the puzzle. Problem is, they need help at receiver. They need help at tight end. They need help at running back. They need help on defense. But this is not the same Colts. This is not the same Chiefs team we watched the last 5 years. This is an old team that everybody's figured out, and Mahomes just doesn't have the magic right now. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying he's playing bad, but he's had to do too much and with way too little. And to be honest with you, the division's gotten better. The Chargers are better. The Broncos are better. They got to jump the Chargers to get in the playoffs right now. And the Chargers 9-4, and they're in the 5th spot. There's 6 wins. They gotta jump over the Texans, who are 2 games ahead of them with 4 to play. It's near impossible.
I agree with you. But I'm just saying that until they are officially eliminated, this is a team that you just can't sleep on, and you can't just say they're
100%.
out.
No, I'm not telling you again. Here's why I look at it. They're done. They're not making the playoffs. If I'm wrong and they make the playoffs, if they go on a magic run here and they win and they jump over the Ravens, the Colts, and the Texans or Bills, and they get to the playoffs, I would be as scared of them as anybody in the world. But
you got to figure the Chiefs have to win out, and one of those teams you mentioned almost has to lose out for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they need miracles to happen ahead of them. And Matt's right. Yeah, so I agree. I would agree with you if they do make the playoffs somehow. Boy, oh boy, I would be scared to death to play them. My point is they're not going to make the playoff. What's
No,
their
I
schedule?
don't see it either. They just don't
Yeah.
seem like they're playing together.
Let me tell you right now what their schedule is down the stretch. Hold on one second, Frank. I have that ability. The full schedule. Let's see. We're in week 15, correct? Okay. So this Sunday, right? Is that this week? Yep. The Chargers this week, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. So
They're capable of winning 3 of those 4 games.
I would say I would give them 2 for sure. 3, they'd have to beat the Chargers. I don't see them beating the Broncos unless the Broncos don't show up. Unless the Broncos don't need it, don't play anybody. But the Chargers need the game. Tennessee's they could beat. Broncos maybe. Yeah, I would agree with you. It's possible for 3. I would say you're more than likely going to win 2. And 3 is not even going to do it. You need to win 4 to get in the playoffs and have a lot happen.
Yeah.
So again,
they're one and done.
Yeah. So to me, it comes down to if you're the Chiefs, you're retooling at the end of the year. You're probably putting a statue up of Taylor Swift's future husband. You're retiring. You're bouncing a few of these guys out. Maybe you're getting a new defensive coordinator. I don't know. I love Spags, but maybe it's time for a change there. Reed will be back, and the Mahomes will be back, and everybody else has a chance to be thrown out. Yeah, I agree, Frank. If they one more loss by the Chiefs, and you could call it a season, you would need a collapse of epic proportions to make that happen. So yeah, you're right. They have to win Sunday to have even the remotest chance. They have to win every game out. They need to win out. And again, even at 10-7, they probably don't get there. They just probably don't get there. So let's look at. So we're talking about the AFC right now. The battles. Obviously, the Steelers are in a decent shape because they beat the Ravens. I don't think Reed's going to retire. I would be shocked. I don't think he's going to want to go out this way. I would tell you, I would be surprised. Now, maybe they do one of those. He moves up to president of football operations, and they bring somebody in to coach the team. I think Reed's going to want to come back and get them to the playoffs and make another run. I think they owe him that. He's come back. He's come in and completely changed that culture over there, Jeff. And if he wants to come back, he's got to be given the opportunity.
And I think, like you said, because of what him and Mahomes have together, I think that they definitely have to give him the chance. They have to let him try.
It's not like his last playoff appearance was 3 years ago. Here's a guy who went to the Super Bowl last year, won it 2 years ago, has been there to the championship game 5 times in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, do I think Andy Reid's still a good coach? Yes. Can you upgrade? Maybe. I don't know, but I think he's owed the opportunity to at least come back next year if he wants to.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Yeah, so a lot to be determined in the AFC still to work out. I mean, I don't know about the division, but there's still a couple playoff spots. I mean, the Colts need some help. The Ravens need a lot of help. So right now, the Colts on the bubble. I think unless there's a collapse, the Chargers, Bills, and Texans look like the playoffs for me. On the other side, Jeff, the Rams, Packers look good the other day. Eagles look like crap. They're going to obviously win the NFC East, but I don't think that's a team that looks like it's going in the right direction. The Buccaneers, the same thing. A couple of weeks ago, I had the Buccaneers maybe going to the NFC Championship game. Now, they'll be lucky to hang in there and win that division and make the playoffs. Seahawks are a good team. Niners, I don't know. Bears have played really well, Jeff. The Bears have played really well. I just think they're a year away. The Lions are on the outside looking in.
Good for themselves for a team now, Tom, that may be there. I wouldn't discount them.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. Their quarterback has played. His coach,
Definitely getting better.
Yes, the coach has done a nice job with him. He uses him to his strengths. They got a good running game. Their defense is good. That's a tough team. I don't know who the class of that is right now. There's still some teams like the Panthers, the Cowboys. I don't give the Vikings much of a chance. The Cowboys need a miracle. The Cowboys need a miracle right now, I think, to get in. The Panthers. So the Lions, to me, are the one team that can jump in here. But, Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are tough out. To me right now, I know, Matt, the Rams, they're probably the best team. I'd be afraid of the Packers, especially in a home game. I would.
Stafford is having some fucking year this year, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know that because he's my fucking fantasy quarterback.
And if the Lions get in, I still say the Lions are a tough out. That's a tough offense. I just don't think they're coached well. And I think what you're seeing is a guy who's a good CEO who had what I guess is two good coordinators when Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were there. It was a good system. Now it's not so good. And his shortcomings are really coming to light. He's not a good X's and O's coach. That team is Jahmyr Gibbs and nobody else. I mean, listen, great receivers, Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're top notch. But that offense is not great. That offense goes as much as Jahmyr Gibbs goes, and they make a lot of stupid mistakes. And they're going to have a tough time getting in, but, it's still some season left. To me, Broncos, Pats, Rams, those are the three best teams in football right now. Packers are on the outside of that. You can then at that point, I don't trust the Seahawks, Jeff. Have we found a way to trust the Seahawks yet?
Nah, I don't either, man. I think that Sam Darnold is gonna end up having a hard time come the playoffs. He happened last year, and I mean, I don't understand. He's had a career revival and turnaround, but I don't know. I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him.
Yeah, Matt, I get it. I don't think the Eagles are going to lose out. Who do the Eagles have this week? Eagles have Denver. Oh, no. Eagles have Vegas this week. So they're not losing to Vegas. They're not a good team. They're not losing to Vegas. If they lose to Vegas, let's revisit this conversation. The Bucs have Atlanta. That should be a W. The Seahawks have a well, I won't say an easy. They don't have an easy game, but they do get the Colts this week, Jeff. So that's an interesting game to watch because the Seahawks want that win. Right? They want to stay ahead, and Indianapolis is desperate for a W in that game somehow. 49ers in Tennessee, that should be a W. The Bears get Cleveland, which should be a W. And the Lions, who desperately need to win, have the Rams. So not an easy week for the Lions team, but we'll see. So right now, the playoff picture is still there's still a lot of teams in it. I think you'll maybe the next 2 weeks see a little more definition on the playoffs. Do I think the Cowboys have to win their division to get in the playoffs? They're not jumping all these other teams and making the playoffs a wild card. So they'd have to hope that the Eagles fall apart and they get hot and win out. Well, let's see the Cowboys schedule the rest of the way. Hold on a second.
What are the Cowboys, like 6-1 or something like that?
I believe you are 100% correct on that one. Let's see. Hold on. 6-1. So let's get the Cowboy schedule up. I'm curious to see. Where is it? Teams. There it is. Cowboy schedule. Matt probably knows off the top of his head. He's got the lines for it. All right. So week 15, Cowboys, Vikings. Right. Yep. Well, that's how it says. That's week 14. Hold on a second. Oh, get the fucking full schedule up. But something's not right. Okay, so week 14. Okay, week 15. That's this week. They got the Vikings, then the Chargers, the Redskins, and then the Giants. So theoretically, I see them. The Vikings a tough game. They can win. I don't think they're beating the Chargers. They should beat the Commanders and the Giants. So the Cowboys could win 3 games. Unfortunately, they're 2 behind. So you need the Eagles. Let's see what the Eagles schedule is, Jeff.
They need the Eagles to lose some stuff. Correct.
So let's see the Eagles schedule along the way. Here is Eagles schedule. Let's see. And we're going to week 15. Okay. So this week for the Eagles is the Raiders. Should be a W. Redskins, probably a W. Bills, I'm going to say that's a loss. And the Commanders. So, 2 games against the Skins and the Raiders, two bottom feeders. You got to figure they win 3 out of those 4 games. So the Cowboys need them to lose 3 games of those 4. I don't see it. Without an epic collapse, then the Cowboys would still need to jump them 2 games. So the Cowboys need to win at least 3 or 4. Tough, very, very, very tough for them to that to happen. So I'm not betting on it, Jeff. I'm not betting on that one.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, again, guys, Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom, we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will not be back next week, and we will not be back on the 25th. That is Christmas. We may be back New Year's Day to Thursday. Depending on Jeff's schedule, I am available. I am free. I don't believe I'm going anywhere this year. So there may be a show on New Year's Day. Worst case, we're back on January 8th, and Jeff will have his dead list. We do it every year. And by that point, it'll absolutely be final, Jeff.
Well,
What
we got to see if there's any loopholes. Somebody goes into a coma, say on the 31st, and is declared brain dead.
Yep.
But they leave them on a ventilator, and then by January 7th, they take them off. Is that a retroactive death?
No, I would say as long as the heart's pumping, they're alive. That would be my ruling.
Wow.
That would be my ruling, Jeff.
Really? Even if they just drooling on themselves?
Even the vegetative state, Jeff, they're alive. So,
wow.
But if this is our last show, guys, I do want to say that I thank you all for being out there and hanging with us every week. And most of you guys I get to contact off the air, and it's a pleasure to do this show with Jeff and every week. And I hope you guys all have a great Christmas, a great New Year, and I hope another even better 2026 for all of you.
He's Andy Dick. That jerk off just turned blue and fucking overdosed the other day. I'd say right now, if I had a celebrity death pool and he was my man, I'd feel good about myself. I may cash out for a big win before the end of the year.
Absolutely. So let's see. All right, so let's do our top 15 quarterbacks, because this was tough. One, to find 50 quarterbacks that I would count on, and to put them in. I put them in some sort of order. So would you like me to go first and see what how we kind of mix?
First, me, what I did, just so you know, the reason I don't have mine in order, I went on ESPN. I started at the AFC East, and I just went down a list of teams and seeing who was who.
No, listen, it's fair. I just kind of, from my head, in fact, I made a bunch of changes along the way. I don't know if you can see it. Like, I put guys on and then forgot to pick guys and moved the guys around. So, I did some thinking on it. So I'll give it to you quick. I got Josh Allen. I still got Mahomes. I put Burrow in there, even though a lot of injuries and stuff. I still think talent-wise, Burrow is number 3.
Joe Burrow saying that he's not enjoying playing in.
Yeah, you read that too, huh? Happy Kwanzaa, there, Gumati Blue. Happy Kwanzaa.
Like those candles, man.
Yeah. I did. I did read that, and I guess Jeff. Well, we all look up and say, "Oh, there's a guy. He's young. He's a handsome guy. They're dating models. They have all this money. They play in the Super Bowl." Not everybody finds a way to enjoy their life or can change their life to the point where they don't enjoy themselves. And, it would not shock me to hear that Joe Burrow walks away from football. I mean, you have to read that.
If I'm the New York Jets, I'm going to tell you what I would do if I'm the New York Jets.
Yep.
I'd offer them 5 first-round draft picks for Joe Burrow, so next year he could retire a Jet. That's what I would do.
Well, I got to tell you, it does seem like there's a big shakeup coming there, because they have a lot of talent. They just can't seem to win. There's a lot of questions whether that coach will be back, even though he's done a nice job there, and he's had a lot of bad injuries, especially to Burrow. So it would not shock me if somebody threw up the right price, 3 number ones, that.
Let me tell you something. If I'm the Jets, the only way that I would even dream of trading for him,
if
he signed an ironclad 5-year deal they found out that he's made of Teflon. Is never going to get hurt again.
Yeah.
But it's just too much. He's too expensive.
I would agree. I would agree. But let's put it this way: if you were the Jets and you got up there, and somebody offered you a quarterback, and they said, "Hey, 2 number ones, and we'll give you our quarterback, not named Joe Burrow," or you can let's put it this way: I'll give you a better one. The Jets wind up with pick number 4, number 5, whatever, right in the draft. There's a quarterback at number 2 that they want. And somebody said, hey, 2 number ones, and we'll let you move up to number 2 to take that guy. I think the Jets would probably do it. Would you give up an extra number 1, 3 number ones, however you want to space them, 2 this year, 1 next year, 1 this year, 2 next year, however it plays out? Would you trade that for a healthy, committed Joe Burrow?
No.
Really?
No. You know why?
Why?
Joe Burrow's what, 28, 29?
Maybe something in that range, yeah.
Yeah, and healthy this year, maybe, yeah.
I'm just saying, if I told you Joe Burrow was going to stay healthy for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, if he's going to stay healthy for the next 3 or 4
well, that's what I'm saying. If I told you that Joe Burrow is going to find a way to stay healthy and he's happy.
They need too much.
Okay.
They need too much to throw all of that at one player. If they could get him for 2 number ones and a 2, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Like if they trade this year's number 1 and the second number 1 that they got and the number 2 next year, maybe, because then you're getting Joe Burrow, who is still better than what you're going to get with both number 1 picks. Yeah. But you need to get some people for him.
No, I get it. Yeah. I get it. No, I would get it. I could get it. Frank, I've never heard that about the Giants talk about trading Dart, and I don't know why they would ever. I mean, not that you couldn't get something for him, but why would you trade a known commodity when you've been searching for that known commodity for the last 7 years since Eli got walked away? So to me, that makes no sense unless you're telling me somebody's offering them 3 number ones, 4 number ones, because there's no guarantee that Jackson Dart's going to elevate next year. There's no guarantees. This is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. This isn't Mahomes or Josh Allen. I like Jackson Dart. I think he's going to be fantastic. But there's always the chance, Jeff, that he takes a huge step back next year. Some other guys.
The guy Jaden Daniels has proven that. And nothing in Carolina. While I understand what you're saying, the Broncos were a little bit of a different team, and Peyton Manning was a different kind of quarterback, bro. All right, Peyton Manning, as good as Joe Burrow is, and I like Joe Burrow. I think he's an excellent quarterback. I think he's not of Peyton Manning's class, and he's definitely a step behind Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
At this point, I mean, I would say I would put him even with like Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he's the second level. You want to tell me he's the second level after that? Yeah, you're right.
First level, definitely up of second level, without a doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, 100%. But Frank, if there's a quarterback they like, here's the thing: if the Giants trade Jackson Dart and they come back with a boatload, and there's a quarterback guys that they like, okay, you better hit on him because it's going to be an uproar. I don't care what you get for him. If that quarterback turns out to not be the guy and Dart has any sort of success going forward, I mean, look at the grief they take for Danny Dimes having the year he had. Imagine if you trade Dart, who everybody's falling in love with. Now, you may want to trade him because you think he's reckless. Maybe you think he's reckless. Yeah, and there you go. I get that. Maybe that's it. They're too afraid that he's going to wreck his career or all that. So that's all fine. But you better have a plan, and you better have the right guy. And I don't think there's anybody coming out of college right now that I would go, that guy's going to be a hell of a pro. There's some guys that maybe this kid out of Indiana. There's some guys that can play. But you have a known commodity in Dart, I would be hard-pressed to trade him. And it better be for a boatload. It better be, at least 2 number ones, and if not more than that. So that. No, Frank, here's why, Frankie. Think about this. Go in the league and tell me I was going to read a list of quarterbacks. Tell me how many quarterbacks out there. There's how many teams. There's probably 15 or 16 teams right now that need a quarterback of his caliber. I'm not telling you he's great. He could easily be next year's Jaden Daniels. I get it. I'm not that. I'm just saying is he's at least come in, energized the team, shows himself to play well, I'm not if I'm taking a shot at getting rid of him, it better be for something big. Otherwise, I got to go with it. I think I found my guy. Now, maybe they feel they haven't. I don't know. The Indiana kid is a good player. There's no doubt. But I watched him. I watched him a few times. I'm not going, oh my God, this guy is great. He's not that guy yet. It could turn into that. We'll see. But I'm not trading Dart for an unknown commodity unless I'm getting something big from him. I'm just not. It's just, to me, to trade Dart for what, one number one and a number two, and then draft a guy out of college who may or may not be the guy. If whoever the Giants GM is, whether it's Joe Shane or whether, if you trade Dart and draft another guy and that guy fails, or Dart goes on and has big stuff, you better have gotten a boatload for him. That's all I'm saying. But I do understand the thought of trading him because he is a walking injury the way he plays right now. He's going to get himself hurt and out for a season at some point if he continues. So Josh Allen. Okay, Jeff.
Oh, without a doubt. It's only a matter of time. I totally agree.
Yeah. Josh Allen, Mahomes, Joe Burrow.
Frank, don't pay attention to him, Frank.
I know he hasn't done anything so far. All I'm saying is he's come out and everybody around the league, there isn't one person who I've watched, listened to, saw, read about who said, this kid ain't the right guy. Everybody said it looks like the Giants have got their guy. I'm not saying it's going to work out. Nobody knows. But there isn't one person out there who doesn't think that this kid's got something special and has an opportunity to be great. Now, if the Giants don't give him talent, if he doesn't take it to the next level, it could all fall apart, no doubt. But he's only been here for a year and hasn't even played all year. So I'm not saying I'm going based on what I've seen in ability and what he's done. When he's on the field, he's not overmatched. He's taken over games and played extremely well. He took apart the Bronco defense, dude. Let's be honest. For 3 quarters, if he doesn't get hurt, the Giants probably win that game. Now, he made a couple mistakes, but for 3 quarters, he took the best defense in football, and he kind of said, bye-bye, babies. So he's got ability. Whether it manifests, I don't know. He did the same thing to a few teams. They just didn't win. The defense stunk. If the Giants' defense is any good, the Giants have 4 more wins this year. The Giant defense is any good. So while I agree with you, he hasn't done anything spectacular, he's put them in a position to win 3, 4, 5 games this year that they didn't win. So I agree with you. The way he plays is kamikaze, and that bothers me more than anything. And if they don't break him of that, he's going to have a problem.
He is. Let's get through this. Don't pay attention and put your
Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow. Then I'm putting Stafford mainly because of age. Stafford's having a great year, but I gotta rank him 4 because he's much older than the rest of these guys. Goff is next for me. I think Goff has really been one of those guys who changed his career around, and his team is perennially the last 4 years playoff bound. Should have been Super Bowl bound. Begrudgingly, I put Lamar at number 6. I think he's still overrated. He's an amazing athlete, probably the best running quarterback of all time, but he never wins the big games, and he's not a great passer. He's just not a great passer.
Oh, he's gotten better, but I hear you. But, you're talking about the top 15 and
but that's where we're at. Right? Number 6.
15.
Yeah, so next I went Baker Mayfield. I think Baker's turned his career around, and he's more than just a solid quarterback. I think he's actually a very good quarterback at this point in his career and has the ability to probably win a Super Bowl at some point on the right team. Don't know if it's with Tampa Bay. I put Jordan Love at number 8. Definitely has had a better career than I expected. Still needs to win some big games. Although he did beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, so that was a big game for him. Begrudgingly, I put Justin Herbert at number 9. He has a lot of ability, still makes a lot of mistakes, but I think he has a chance to get better. I went with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. He wins. I agree. He's got a lot of talent around him. I don't think he's a great passer. Again, another guy I think is overrated. gotten better and is a really good game manager, but still needs to win a big game is Dak Prescott, Jeff. I had to put Dak in there at number 11. Yeah, I just don't have any confidence in him. 12, I went with Sam Darnold. 13, I went with Danny Dimes. I think he had a great year, and he deserves to be on this list for this year. And 14, I went with Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's a solid quarterback. I could not come up with number 15 on my list.
Well, listen, regardless of how we each did our list, there are 32 top quarterbacks in the league. That's all there is to that.
Yeah, I just didn't.
I have problems with 12 and 13 on your list.
I figured.
Just because I just cannot put them on.
I understand, and you're right. I just think Sam Darnold had a great year for 16 weeks last year, and then fell apart. And he's had a good year so far. He may fall apart now, and I expect him to. Yeah, see, Frank. But who would you put ahead of him that's not on this list already?
Who?
That's the question. He's saying Sam Darnold is not a current top 15. Who would you put ahead of him? Bryce Young? Would you go Bryce Young ahead of him? I wouldn't.
I happen to have a
Caleb Williams, maybe. Aaron Rodgers, I say no.
I got a list of 15 names right here. I got.
Yeah, give me your list.
Somebody is better than him. You couldn't come up with 15. So I didn't put him in a 15 in an order. I just did top 15.
Yeah.
I got Josh Allen.
Yep.
Liked what Drake May has been doing.
I forgot May. That's a great one. I forgot about Drake May.
You can put him at 15 if you like.
I put him up higher, but that's okay. He should be on my list. That's a bad job by me.
I'm going with Lamar, Rodgers, top 15 quarterback, Burrow, Herbert, Mahomes, Dak, Jordan Love, Goff, Mayfield, Stafford. I'm going to save number 13 for last. Okay. But I got Williams from Chicago, Bo Nix, and then my number 13 and last quarterback for the list, Jackson Dart.
Wow. Look at you. Wow. Okay.
Now, the reason I put Jackson Dart on that list, I was looking at his stats. Okay. And he has some pretty decent stats.
Yep.
But I got to agree with you. I think he's reckless. But I think that's a rookie thing. What ended up happening to that kid Scatterbo is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, he's going to end up. These are two kids where they need to reel them in and say, listen, there's a time and place for that. And week 4 and 5 is not it. Okay. Yeah. You're fighting to get in the playoffs. You may have to do that. The celebrating Cam's got to stop immediately, if not sooner. And Jackson Dart has to learn to protect himself and his slides and everything else. Yes, I did say Bo Nix, man. He's going to be I feel as though he's going to be a good quarterback in this league one day. He just cannot be a reckless quarterback, or else he's going to be out of work.
I agree. Frankie, bad job by me. I should have put Drake May. Jeff has a great one in Drake May. I forgot about Drake May. And Bo Nix should have been my at least number 15 on the list. He should have made that list. He's played well enough this year to make my list, and that's a bad job by me. So
now, I do want to touch base on two that you said, which Sam Darnold, I just cannot.
I got to put him in. He's had 2 really good years. I have a hard time not putting him in there.
Okay. But you know what? He had 2 very good seasons. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, he had 1 very good season. He's in the midst of another.
Yep.
Okay. And when it was time, he didn't answer the bell.
100%. That's why I said really good, not great. If he had answered the bell and the team lost, that's a different story. That's why I say he had a really good season last year and this year.
And he spent a long time getting to where he is.
100%. Oh, 100%. But you can say that about Baker. You can say that about Geno. There's a lot of guys you can say that about.
As far as Geno Smith didn't make my top 15.
No, so, me either.
As far as Danny Dimes goes, you know what? He looks like he's a likable guy.
Yep.
He looks like he'd be a good player to have. He looks like he plays hard and everything else. I just have a problem putting him too high. I think until he proves otherwise, and it's injuries. A lot of his problem is injuries.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Until he could put a couple seasons together with no injuries, I think you have to put him in the middle of the pack. I would say he's definitely, if you said top 20 or top 25, he'd be on the list. But right now, at top 15, I have a hard time putting him on the list. Maybe next year. I'm hoping for the guy to be able to play sometime next year. I think it would be terrible if he ends up sitting out the whole year next year, but I would say it doesn't look good.
Matt smoking the cowboy crack. Scott Bruna. Yeah, here's the problem for Danny Dimes. He's on a 1-year deal. Is anybody going to sign him for next year, knowing that there's a good chance he may not play at all next year?
You know what? I was reading up about him. Somebody said that maybe he goes back to Minnesota.
It's possible. Yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities.
I don't get that.
Well, that's a good place to go to learn to play quarterback again. And two, it may be one of those situations where, McCarthy did not play well this year. If you turn around, you bring Dimes in, you give him a 1-year deal, he gets back in the system over there, and McCarthy struggles next year, you got Dimes for the year. Now, can he come back and play well 2 years from now? I don't know. He's starting to get up there in age a little bit. I mean, not that he's an old guy. Believe me, he's not 30 yet. But, you're missing a lot of time.
For a quarterback, he doesn't need the rust.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. So being out all of next year, or at least a really, really good part of next year, that's a killer. If this happened to him, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, you go, maybe he comes back in October, November, he signs with the Colts and they, but if you're the Colts, you need a quarterback next year. So you're going to either sign somebody or draft somebody. So the likelihood of him coming back to the Colts next year, I think you're kind of, could you see him winding up with like the Jets or the Dolphins, or teams that have quarterback issues that maybe you bring him in and you catch lightning in a bottle at the end of the year, or you got him on the roster for the year after? Maybe. I'm just saying, I feel bad for the guy. He looked like he was finally breaking out of it, breaks his leg, still plays with a special pad on it, and then tears his hand. But to me, he's proven that he can play quarterback in this league and at a very high level. So
it's hard to.
I disagree with that. Why would you say he's overrated? There was a guy at some point this year, week 8, 9, 10. They were talking about him as the MVP of the league. He's not overrated. I'm not saying he's great. Nobody's saying he's a Hall of Famer, but he's a guy who could play in this league. He had some good times with the Giants. He took them to the playoffs, did a great job. Did he have a great career? No, because what Jeff said, he can't stay healthy. If Daniel Jones stays healthy, he's a better than serviceable quarterback. He's better than a lot of guys. I think that's hard to say.
It's hard to disagree with that, man. Yeah. I'm not saying the guy is great. I'm not saying he's ever going to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's ever going to lead the league in passing. But he came out of the gate hot. He played good. He gave the Colts a lot of hope. And what's worse is, not only is it worse, bad enough he gets hurt, a non-contact injury.
Yeah, just drop him back. It's the worst thing. So I feel bad for the kid. He deserves better. You're 100% right. There's a lot of things that can happen, and the Minnesota thing, it was, especially the way McCarthy played and looked completely overrated, overwhelmed. I wouldn't be shocked if he went back there on some sort of deal, or who knows. But again, who's going to sign him? Knowing that 99% he won't play next year is an interesting one.
Well, you know what?
Thank you. Yes,
he might be playing next year, but it may be near the end of the year, and he would be a good insurance policy. He's proven to be a serviceable quarterback in the NFL this year to me. Yeah. And believe me, you know how I felt about him.
Absolutely.
If I'm staying at, I'm not saying that it means anything, but he made a believer out of me. I don't think that I would want to see him on the Jets, but if he was the second, backup quarterback, I feel a lot more, confident about my team.
Well, don't think about it. If you went to next year with now, I agree with Matt. I think Mac Jones is a guy who's kind of revitalized himself, and there are guys who go places like to the 49ers who I don't like their coach, but he's a great quarterback coach. Same as the guy in Minnesota, and same as the guy in Indianapolis. And if you go there and you kind of learn to play the position the right way, and you get to kind of see it from the outside and then get in the system, I think Mac Jones is a guy who's going to be in high demand next year. He's one of those guys who's going to come on a cheap contract, and I think could be a Jared Goff light. Kind of maybe not that good, but play well enough on a good team. Is he taking a bad team, Jeff, to the playoffs? No. Can he take you can he take a Indianapolis Colt team to the playoffs? Probably. He played well enough for that.
Let me ask you this much. He's also, he couldn't stay number one quarterback in New England.
Right.
Cost himself a job in New England.
Yep.
Why? Because he's playing on a better team now that everybody. I don't know about
coaching.
Him.
It's coaching. It's. I'm starting to see, and it's experience. These guys. We talked about it earlier. Guys get thrown in, and they're expected to jump and go into the deep end and start swimming. And some of these guys need a little time to kind of learn the position, and they need the right teaching. He went to New England, played for maybe some bad coaching, didn't get the proper. Went someplace, kind of chance to take a breath and learn the game, and then it starts to slow down. We all know, we've all played sports. When you go to play in an upper level, at any level you ever play in, I don't care if you're playing street ball or whatever, when you step in and you play at a higher level with better people, everything's much faster. And then all of a sudden, if you're a good enough player, it slows down enough and you become that good. And I think for some of these guys like Baker and Sam Darnold, and maybe for Mac Jones, I think that's kind of what happened for them.
I got to be honest with you. Out of all of them, I would question Mac Jones out of all of them.
Of course. Listen, of course.
You got to remember Baker Mayfield is a former number one pick in the NFL. And I understand that doesn't mean much because it doesn't guarantee anything, but they picked him number one for a reason, and there he is. But
I agree. No argument here. No argument here.
I don't know. Those other guys.
But Mac, I don't know what his future is going to bring, but I will tell you, based on this year, I would think he'll be a highly sought after guy.
What deer is he? What deer are you talking about?
Jeff, does that deer move? Oh, I think. Do you have a moose someplace?
Not out. What is he?
I don't know what he's talking about.
What are you talking about, Frank?
Does that deer move? I don't know. I don't see it. I'm looking in your room. I don't see anything behind.
What are you talking? Oh, the one in the house. Yes, it does.
Oh,
yes, it does. You looking for a deer, Frank? Because I think the deer is looking for a home. I bought it last year on a whim because I'm a wiener, and he's too big.
Oh boy! All right. Well, yeah. So listen, guys, it's been a fun show. I'm looking forward to some good football this weekend. You have your big outing in the city soon, no?
Yes. So not this Friday, next Friday, but it all depends on what I don't know.
What time does that get together usually happen?
What's that?
What time does that get together usually? Is that an afternoon thing or a nighttime thing?
It's a nighttime thing. We go when it's dark. Usually, me and my wife go up to the city first, and we'll go to like Union Square.
Right.
And hang out there, go through the Christmas Village for a while that they have there. And then we go to Guitar Center where I could drool over a few things that are just too expensive to get. And then we make our way up.
Oh, Guitar Center on 14th Street. Yep. Okay. Yep. I know which one you're talking about.
We'll get caught in a fucked up place where you can't move and then got to relocate. Only to find out that Paul and Julia are where we once were. Stand by the tree literally for like 45 seconds, take a few pictures, and then waddle up to go get dinner. Then I eat, and then I keep my fingers crossed that I make it from where I am to the next step, from A to B, without having any issues and making any
it's tough.
Other people are gonna laugh at.
It
is at this age, yeah.
It is very tough. I have to plan. I always am a big planner nowadays with when it comes to that. To say, all right, if I got to go, where am I going? So you're not any worse than anybody else. But I hope you guys have fun. Again, I'll be in the city. I have a company Christmas party next Thursday night, so we won't be on the air. I was hoping to get. It's 4 to 7. I was hoping to get out a little early. I just don't know if I'll make it. if anything changes, I'll notify Jeff, and if he's available.
No,
You have practice next week, right? You have practice now.
Next week I will not be available.
Yeah, you have practice for the.
I got a show with middle-aged delinquents on the 26th, and we're gonna practice. I can't wait to be done with this shit, man. Oh my god, they are aggravating me. I'm sorry.
I understand. I understand completely. So
trying to be cool about things, but I think I'm going to tell them. I was asked by one of the members if I would consider coming back, and I was like, I don't know. We'll okay, good for you, dude. I hope you like it, man. Good luck with it.
Congratulations and good luck.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to wash my hands of this. I was asked if I'd stay, but that's it. You know. Okay, Frank.
Just where it depends and have fun. Yes, Matt. Let me tell you, it might not be that far off in the future for that one, my friend. It might not be too far off in our futures. I don't know, but I just lost Jeff. I think he just signed up. We'll see if he comes back. But in the meantime, lots of good football this weekend. Hey, one thing I didn't get a chance to talk about was Notre Dame and them bailing out on that. And I think the college football playoff thing. I don't know. I don't think that Notre Dame has a real good argument for that.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong thing, and that was it.
But to me, nobody's tuning in to watch James Madison or Tulane. So should Notre Dame gotten in there? I don't know. I do think maybe Texas deserved to get in there. There's a couple teams that missed out. But to me, not playing the bowl game. I don't care if you ask the team or not. Those seniors, those kids deserve to play in a bowl game, one more game, and you protesting means absolutely nothing. I think it's a bad job by the Notre Dame coach, who I think is a very good coach, and I think it's a terrible job by Notre Dame not playing in the bowl game. Don't forget, this week is Army-Navy, the best football game for atmosphere you'll ever see. Make sure you watch Army-Navy this weekend. What else? Enjoy your Christmas. That's the bottom line, right, Jeff?
Yeah, man.
And Matt and Frank get a PlayStation 5 so we can play Madden against you guys and kick the crap out of you, because that's what we do to each other every week. And we need some more old timers playing Madden with us. So get off the schneid and go get a PlayStation 5. That's my PSA for the week.
It would be nice. I mean, the PlayStation League was going good for a while, and then some issues. Shit happens. What could you do, right?
Yeah. Hopefully Frankie gets his health back and we finish it up. I just routed Iggy Mo this week, 29-7. I'm due to play Jeff this week, Frankie this week, but he's not available. So,
which Frank?
I'm supposed to play Frank Jeffrey this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. But in the meantime,
play Frank Jeffrey too.
This week, that was last week you were supposed to play him.
Last week, we never played.
Right. So you still have a game from last week to play. I got it from this week to play. So I'm caught up with Iggy Mo. I still got one game. You're really 2 games behind now, right? You have last week's game. Did you play Iggy Mo this week?
No, I wasn't supposed to play Iggy Mo this week. I was supposed to play Frank Jeffrey.
No, I think I was supposed to play Frank Jeffrey this week.
No, I was supposed to play Frank Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's possible. I played Iggy Mo last week. You were supposed to play Frankie last week. He was sick.
Yeah, but and then we didn't play last week, and I was supposed to play him this week.
I got it. But so you skipped last week. So this week you should have played Iggy Mo. And then you woke up last week.
Game at all this week.
Yeah, I guess because Frankie's been sick and all that. I guess nobody wants to keep rolling.
As long as we have the, what's going on, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Nope. I got you. And all the games are there, so we can always go back and figure it all out. So, but all right. So listen, guys, it's been fun. If you're a Met fan, I hope you can still have a good Christmas. I think there's better times coming, but it might not be this year. We'll see what they do. Anything's possible. It's early. If you're a Jet and Giant fan, God bless you. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Nobody knows.
Giants are back this week. They get the Redskins. So hopefully it's a competitive. I'll say this. I want the Giants to go 4-0. I don't want to hear about number 1 picks, number 2 picks. I could care less. I want my team to win football games. and move forward and not get anybody hurt. Jeff, do you want the Jets winning games or losing games? Good night, Frank Catalano.
You know, a lot of
Merry
people.
Christmas, Frankie.
A lot of people. See you later, Frank. And Merry Christmas to you, man. Yeah, I understand your point, and you're right. While I want to see them win because they're going to start to develop and play some younger players, and you want to see who they got and what's going on. On the other hand, you want to see them get the best draft picks that they can. But if that's the case, then the guys that are there next year are not going to be there to play with these draft picks. So these guys are on their own tryouts.
Yeah, sure, of course, absolutely.
This year, and
absolutely. Go out and play hard, win games.
You got to play what you got to do what you got to do. Do I want to see them? I mean, I hear a lot of things. I heard that they may even try to attempt to trade with the Giants for the number 1 pick. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, there's been a lot. I've heard a lot of that talk too. That if the Giants wind up number 1, they're going to trade down, and they might. You know, there's that if you can trade down to 3, 4, 5, 6 spots and pull up a bunch of stuff for that, you know, for to build. The Giants, I think, have their quarterback. So to me, you want to just, you know, you want some really good players, but it's too far in advance to even talk about that right now. We'll get into that in about 4 weeks when we kind of know who's number 1 picks. The likelihood the Giants, you know, they'll finish, number 2 pick, number 3 pick. You know, I don't know, but you know, the way they played, the way they've been losing, would not shock me if we have the number 1 pick next year. We'll see.
Yeah, they look like there's a lot of people fighting for that number 1 pick next year.
It's the truth. But enjoy the football, folks. Enjoy Army Navy Saturday. I'm telling you, one of the best experiences you can ever have. If you get a chance to go to the game, go. If you don't get a chance to go, watch it on TV. It's a spectacle all to itself. The guys play tough. They play hard, and there's so much fun around it. Do yourself a favor and catch Army Navy. Big football weekend, and we're 2 weeks from Christmas. So please take a breath. Tell your friends, tell your family you love them and wish them a Merry Christmas. Enjoy every second of the next 2 weeks. Don't let it slip by and go, I can't believe it's over. Enjoy it and try to embrace it. We only get so many. We really, I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to be a downer, but you only get so many good Christmases with everybody while you got them. You know, I'll say this at the end of the show, and I apologize, but you know, every year we organize a reunion with the boys. We get together and jam, and it's important to me because I don't know how many we're going to have where every single guy's going to be. Hopefully, we'll have another 20 or 30 with everybody there. But I always say there's going to be that 1 year when the first guy's not there for the wrong reason.
Sadly.
Not because he's busy, right? And I will do everything I can every year to make sure that we at least one day a year get in the same room and see each other for 3 hours and laugh and kid and hug and tell stories because it's important. So whether you have friends that you jam with or it's your family or it's a bunch of buddies you grew up playing hockey or football with, make the effort and let them all know that you're out there and be part of their life. And this time of year, please take a breath and enjoy the Christmas time in wherever you are, whether it's New York or Florida or wherever. Enjoy yourself. That's all I gotta say. So, anything you want to end with?
Nah, man. You know, the year went fast, and I just need about another 21 months to go fucking flying on by.
Well, again, while I understand your thought, enjoy every one of them along the way. Just take a breath, and I know how you feel about what you do every day, but 21 months is going to fly by, and you don't want to go, holy shit, it's gone already. Just take a breath and enjoy it while you got it. That's all I can say, my friend.
Yeah, I hear you.
In the meantime, we thank you. We wish you all a Merry Christmas. It's our 14th or is it 14th? Yeah, I think it's our 12th Christmas wish to you all. We thank you for listening. We thank you for watching. And we thank you for being part of the Hard Rock and Sports Show. So for Jeff and myself, I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll see you on the 1st. If we don't, we'll see you back here on the 8th. And in the meantime, enjoy your Christmas and your New Year's. Eat, be merry, don't drink and drive, and stay safe out there. And if you got any extra presents, send them to me and Jeff. We always take an extra present or two.
Yeah, Present Adoption Program, PAP.
That's it. We're not above taking a free gift. So if you get something you don't want, send it our way. Just give us a buzz. Yes. Yeah, we don't do socks or underwear. I only wear Jeff's after he's done with them. Then those are the only ones I'll take.
They got that extra Velcro type stuff in the back.
Exactly. Yeah, they're already broken in. You can't get blamed for the stains.
Nicotine stains.
In the meantime, I love you all. I love you, Hefe. You're my man, my buddy, and I will talk to you off the air. And Merry Christmas to you, your family, and everybody in between. We'll definitely see each other in the near future.
I hear you. Here's hoping. I'm looking forward to Sunday. We'll see everybody 21st, Monday the 21st. Here's hoping everybody can make it. And like you said, Christmas is right here. It's right around the corner. And yeah, you're right, man. Everything you said. This is the time of year to really, be mindful of the people that you have around you, and because like you said, one day they're just not going to be there, man.
That's it. There's going to be one of those days where the people that you count on most, or you love the most, or you look forward to seeing the most, one of these days, one of you ain't going to be there. So while you're all there, take advantage of it. And that's why I push for the reunion every year with big help from Jeff. We do it together. And so far, we've done 11 or 12 of them. And we get a pretty good turnout this year. Other than my brother and your brother, I think everybody's coming. So,
yeah, good.
Yeah, hopefully Johnny Collins actually shows up. I know he's made some plans, but hopefully John shows. Well, we'll see, but
is hoping.
That's it. So again, guys, have a great night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. Merry Christmas from all of us here at the Hard Rock and Sports Show, and we'll see you back here in a couple weeks. In the meantime, be safe. I will send you a message in a couple minutes. I'll let you know if I can, if I have time to jump on and play a game. I'd love to.
Okay, let me know.
You got it, my man. Talk to you later.
Later, dude.
Later.
Bye.